Good morning, boys and girls. Here we are on a sunny Thursday morning. Let's start with prayer. Fold your hands, close your eyes, and bow your heads. Dear God, we love you. You are awesome and wonderful. Every good thing comes from you. Thank you for all the good things you give us. Thank you for all the good things we're enjoying during this quarantine when we stay in our houses and stay in our yards, and we get to watch you create springtime with sunshine and flowers and trees and birds. Thank you for this special time. Thank you that we have phones and computers and we can still talk to our friends and make videos and sort of have school. Please bless our day ahead in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, I have a longish, kind of long book I want to read to you today. So let's get through some of those things that we want to do every day. Let's sing the Bible verses. A friend loves at all times. Proverbs 17:17. A friend loves at all times. Proverbs 17:17. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, Genesis 1:1, Genesis 1:1. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. Psalm 118, verse 1. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. Psalm 118, verse 1. For a child will be born to us, Isaiah 9, verse 6. For a child will be born to us, Isaiah 9, verse 6. I wonder if you're still doing the fingers when you're at home, because I remember in December when we first learned that verse, we practiced hard to make sure we could make 9 and 6. So all of our fingers is 10, right? If we put one down, that's 9. And that verse is from Isaiah chapter 9. And then we put down 3 more fingers over here. So we have one full hand and one finger over here. And that makes 6 because this is 5 and one more is 6. So when we sing that Bible verse, we say Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. Let's do it again. For a child will be born to us, Isaiah 9, verse 6. For a child will be born to us, Isaiah 9, verse 6. Okay. Nadia, can you have it quiet?
Sorry.
Thank you.
Forgot.
I'm in a house with 3 kids and a husband, aren't I? So sometimes I have to talk to my kids. Okay, let's see. So we sang that a child would be born. And who was the child? Jesus. And did he stay a child? No. Jesus grew. Jesus grew. In body and in wisdom. Jesus grew. Jesus grew. In body and in wisdom. Luke 2:52. We love because he first loved us. We love because he first loved us. We love because he first loved us. 1 John 4:19. God loved the world so much that he gave his only son. God loved the world so much that he gave his only son. God loved the world so much that he gave his only son. God loved the world so much that he gave his only son. John 3:16. Okay, and now the new one. We have, 3 in a row from John? We had Jesus grew in body and in wisdom. That was Luke 2:52. And then we learned God loved the world so much, which is from John, and now this one's from John. Here we go. Trust in God, trust also in Jesus. John chapter 14, verse 1. Trust in God, trust also in Jesus. John chapter 14, verse 1. We are halfway through the month now. I wonder if you're getting really good at that song. I'd love to hear it if you want to send me a video. Here we go. Trust in God, trust also in Jesus. John chapter 14, verse 1. Trust in God, trust also in Jesus. John chapter 14, verse 1. Okay, we did prayer. We did Bible verses. I hope you're doing jobs to help out at home. And now it's time to look at the calendar. So let me grab my paper calendar that I found. And here it is. And I've got today's number. Here's today's number that we'll put on. It looks like a 1 and a 6. A 1 next to a 6. I wonder if you know that number. I've got my glue stick. And I will stick this number onto our calendar. I did 2 pink ones and now I'm doing a green one. Here we go. This one means today. I put it right next to yesterday's number. So here's the one that means today. And when I look up, 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 I see this little word that starts with TH. And that is our day of the week. Which day of the week starts with TH? Th. There are 7 days. There are 7 days. There are 7 days in a week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Here was our day. Which one was it? Th. Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Today's Thursday. Look at that. It starts with TH. Th is Thursday. Okay. And then up here we have our big word for our month. Today is Thursday, and then our month. January, February, March, and April, May, June, July, and August, September, October, November, December. These are the months of the year. So I already had January, February, March, and here's the one that starts with A. April. Today is Thursday, April, and let's count the numbers. This month started on Wednesday. Here it is, CW for Wednesday, and here's the 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. A 1 next to a 6 like that is 16. So today is Thursday, April 16th. Will you say it with me? Here we go. Today is Thursday, April 16th. Okay, Thursday, April 16th. Let's see. When we do calendar, then we think about what season it is. And school started during the summer. And pretty soon after that, it was fall. So summer is hot. Fall, it's getting colder. And the leaves turn colors and fall off. And then it was winter. And winter is when it gets very cold. This year we didn't get much snow, but it still got cold. And now it's this month when it's getting warmer. And all the plants and animals that were asleep for the winter are waking up. It's called spring. It's spring right now, so the weather's getting a little warmer. Now, we had some warmer days and then some colder days and some warmer days and some colder days. But as a whole, during spring, we're going from cold winter to hot summer. So it's getting warmer and warmer. Today's weather feels a little chilly, but we're still getting warmer from winter. Today's weather, the sun is out again. I don't think I talked about the weather yesterday. I know on Monday we talked about it being rainy, but in the afternoon it stopped raining and I got to go outside. And yesterday and Tuesday, the last 2 days, I thought it might be too chilly to go outside. That was silly. I went outside and enjoyed the sunshine, and I think I'll probably do that later today too, even though we'll have to wear coats today. Okay? Let's see. We talked about the calendar and the season and the weather. And now I think I get to, let's talk about the emails I got from you. Lots of good emails. Joanna was working on a workbook with the letter L. She colored a lollipop and there was a lion and she wrote lots of L's in her workbook. She also did the Wet Dry Try app to work on making the L. Ishi did a show and tell video. She had a little lion and a little lamb and a little flashlight. And she showed me that the lamb, I think, is friends with Doc McStuffins. Lily did a show and tell with her laptop. She has a cute little laptop. It's very pretty. It's clearly for a little girl. But hey, it does cool stuff and she can learn to type. It plays music. She really likes her laptop. And Henry showed me that he made the L out of Play-Doh, and then he did some really cool stuff. He's got a really cool flashlight that looks like a shark, and he was experimenting with what's opaque and what's transparent and what's translucent. I wonder if you remember those words from yesterday. He was playing with light, and if light totally shines through something like a window, it's called transparent. And he had a little piece of clear plastic that he was shining his shark light through. And he also had a book that none of the light went through. And he showed in the picture that that book was opaque. It totally blocks the light. And then he had a magnetile. I wonder if any of you have magnetiles. They're a great thing to play with if you have a flashlight and magnetiles. You can shine that light right through your colorful magnetiles because they're translucent. We would have played with magnetiles during school this week if we were there. I don't have any magnetiles at my house, but maybe you have some at your house. And even if you don't, I'm sure you have things that are transparent, translucent, and opaque. And you can shine a light through those things. Okay, that's all the videos I got. You can still show me a show and tell. I would love to put together a collage of all your different show and tells. I saw a fun one that another teacher made with all of the kids from her class showing their show and tells. Okay, let's read this book. The books about lovable Lyle were some of my favorites when I was a little girl and some of my favorites as a mommy because my kids like these books. This is the first book about lovable Lyle, Lyle the Crocodile, and it's called The House on East 88th Street. Do you see the family? Let's see. There's a boy and a mommy and a daddy and a crocodile. I forget this man's name, but we're about to read about it. Okay. The House on East 88th Street is by Bernard Weber. And the pictures in the book are mostly black and white and green. Okay, this is the house on East 88th Street. It is empty now, but it won't be for long. Strange sounds come from the house. Can you hear them? Listen. Swish, swash, splash, swoosh. I heard a splash sound. That must be a water sound of some kind. Let's see. It began one sunny morning when the city-wide storage and moving company truck pulled up to the house on East 88th Street and unloaded the belongings of Mr. and Mrs. Joseph F. Prim and their young son Joshua. So there are the movers. There's Mrs. Prim. Let's see. It was a trying day for everyone. Mrs. Prim just couldn't decide where to put the piano, and Mr. Prim's favorite pipe was accidentally packed away in one of dozens of cartons lying about. So here's Mr. Prim looking for his stuff in all the boxes. Swish, swash, splash, swoosh. Loudly and clearly the sounds now rumbled through the house. It's only a little thunder, Mrs. Prim assured everyone. I heard a splash sound. That's not thunder. What else could it be? When a citywide storage and moving man carried in their potted pistachio tree Everyone rejoiced. The truck was at last empty. The movers wished them well and hurried off to their next job for the day. "Now I'm going to prepare lunch," announced Mrs. Prim, "but first I want to go upstairs and wash these grimy hands." Ooh, grimy means really dirty, so she wants to wash her hands in the bathroom upstairs. Swish, swash, splash, swoosh. A puzzled Mrs. Prim stopped to listen. By and by her ears directed her to the bathroom door. Well, that's where she was going anyway, to wash her hands, right? What can it be? She asked herself as she opened the door. Look who's in the bathroom! Do you see? What she saw made her slam the door quickly shut. Mrs. Prim knew she was going to scream and just waited for it to happen. But she couldn't scream. She could scarcely even talk. The most Mrs. Prim was able to manage was the sharp, hoarse whisper of a voice which she used to call Mr. Prim. "Joseph," she said, "there's a crocodile in our bathtub." Mr. Prim looked into the bathroom. Can you imagine moving into a new house and thinking you had this nice new house and then finding out that it had a crocodile in the bathtub? Look at that picture. Mr. Prim is looking at that crocodile. What on earth would you think? The next moment found them flying off in different directions. "Help! Help!" Mrs. Prim cried out as she struggled with a window stuck with fresh paint. "Operator! Operator!" Mr. Prim shouted into the telephone, and then he remembered that it was not yet connected. Joshua, who had heard everything, raced to the front door to be greeted there by an oddly dressed man who handed him a note. "This will explain everything about the crocodile," said the man, leaving quietly and swiftly. So here he is. He knows about the crocodile, but he's not sticking around to talk. He just handed a note to Joshua. Okay, here's the note. Mr. Prim read the note, and I'll read it to you also. "Please be kind to my crocodile. He is the most gentle of creatures and would not do harm to a flea. He must have tender loving care, for he is an artist and can perform many good tricks. Perhaps he will perform some for you. I shall return. Cordially, Hector P. Valenti, star of stage and screen. P.S. He will eat only Turkish caviar. P.P.S. His name is Lyle." Okay, Lyle starts with L, and that is the reason we're reading this book this week. But that's still quite a note. My goodness. "Turkish caviar indeed," exclaimed Mrs. Prim. Wonder if any of you have had caviar before. It's very fancy, very expensive food, and it says that's all he'll eat. Oh, to think that this could happen on East 88th Street. Whatever will we do with him? Suddenly, before anyone could think of a worthy answer, there was Lyle. So he doesn't just stay in the bathtub. He came down the stairs. Oh, this page we get to see all of his fun tricks. And just as suddenly, he got hold of a ball that had been lying among Joshua's belongings and began to balance it on his nose and roll it down the notches of his spine. Now he was walking on his front feet and taking flying leaps. He leaped over that big chair. He does know good tricks. Now he was twirling Joshua's hula hoop, doing it so expertly that the Prims just had to clap their hands and laugh. Lyle bowed appreciatively. He had won his way into their hearts and into their new home. Winning their hearts means that they now love him. They're all giving each other a hug, and they're going to let him stay in their new house. "Every home should have a crocodile," said Mrs. Prim one day. "Lyle is one of the family now. He loves helping out with chores. He won't allow anyone else to carry out the old newspapers or take in the milk. A long time ago, instead of buying milk in a store, a milkman would come to people's houses in the morning to deliver their milk. So that's what's happening in this picture. The milkman put the milk on their welcome mat early in the morning, and when they got up, they could grab the milk from outside. So Lyle's helping the family in a lot of ways. He folds towels, he feeds the bird, and when he sets the table, there's always a surprise. Oh, look, he made it special with pretty flowers on the table. I only had to show him once how to make up a bed, and now he makes all the beds. He's so helpful. People everywhere stop to talk with him. They say he is the nicest crocodile they ever met. Now, personally, I've never met a crocodile, but I was under the impression that they weren't very nice. But Lyle certainly is. Lyle likes to play in the park. He always goes once around in the pony cart. Doesn't that look like fun? The pony's pulling all the kids and Lyle in a cart. And now he has learned to eat something besides Turkish caviar. This says Italian ices. That means water ice. He likes water ice too now. Lyle is a good sport. Everyone wants to play on his side. See how they're all playing volleyball, but everybody wants to be on Lyle's team. He's wonderful company. We take him everywhere. There they are in the car going down the street. Just give him his Turkish caviar and his bed of warm water, and he's happy as a bird. So here he is lying in the bathtub and eating caviar. Ooh, and there are L's on the towels. Those are fancy cursive L's. One day, a brass band paraded past the house on East 88th Street. The Prim family rushed to the window to watch. They called for Lyle, but there was no answer. Doesn't he want to watch the parade? Where is he? There he is. Look, someone pointed out it's Lyle. He's in the parade. And there was Lyle doing his specialty of somersaults, flying leaps, walking on front feet, and taking bows, just as he did the first day they laid eyes on him. The people watching cheered him on, while Lyle smiled back at them and blew kisses. A photographer was on hand to take pictures. The next day, Lyle was famous. The telephone rang continually, and bundles of mail were dropped by the door. One letter was from someone Lyle knew particularly well. Mr. Prim read it. Just a few words to say, I shall return. Cordially, Hector P. Valenti, star of stage and screen. P.S. Very soon. P.P.S. To fetch my crocodile. Hector P. Valenti's going to come back. He wants to take Lyle. Several days later, Mrs. Prim and Lyle were in the kitchen shelling peas when they heard a knocking at the door. It was Hector P. Valenti, star of stage and screen. I have come for Lyle, announced Signor Valenti. Uh-oh, but he's like part of the Prim family now. They love him. You can't have Lyle, cried Mrs. Prim. He is very happy living here, and we love him dearly. Lyle must be returned to me, insisted Signor Valenti. Signor is Italian for Mr. Was it not I who raised him from young crocodilehood? Was it not I who taught him his bag of tricks? We have appeared together on stages the world over. But why, then, did you leave him alone in a strange house? Asked Mrs. Prim. Because, answered Signor Valenti, I could no longer afford to pay for his Turkish caviar. But now Lyle is famous, and we shall be very rich. Mrs. Prim was saddened, but she knew Lyle properly belonged to Signor Valenti, and she had to let him go. Look at poor Lyle. He's so sad to say goodbye to Mr. Prim, and Joshua's giving him a hug. Mrs. Prim's crying. But Signor Valenti is the one who bought him when he was a baby crocodile, raised him, taught him his tricks. It was a tearful parting for everyone. Oh, how will we solve the problem in this book? Let's see. Signor Valenti had big plans for Lyle. They were to travel far and wide, stay in many hotels. Look, they're riding on a big cruise ship. Where sometimes the tubs were too big, and other times they were too small or too crowded. Can you imagine taking a bath with a crocodile? Oh, goodness. Lyle liked his bathtub on East 88th Street. Signor Valenti did what he could to coax a smile from Lyle. He tried making funny faces at him. He stood on his head. He tickled his toes and told him uproarious stories that in happier days would have had Lyle doubled over with laughter. But Lyle could not laugh, nor could he make people laugh. He made them cry instead. One night in Paris, he made an entire audience cry. The theater manager was furious and ordered them off the stage. So all the people watching were so sad because he was so sad. It's very sad when you see someone crying. Goodness. Meanwhile, at the house on East 88th Street, Mrs. Prim went about her work without her usual bright smile, and deep sighs could be heard coming from behind the newspaper Mr. Prim was reading. Every morning Joshua anxiously awaited the arrival of the mailman in hope of receiving word from Lyle. And one morning a letter did come. He knew the handwriting very well. I like that Joshua is the one who brings in the mail every day. I wonder if you could do that to help your family. Just a few words to say, we shall return. Cordially, Hector P. Valenti, former star of stage and screen. Former means he used to be a star. He used to get to perform. But he says, P.S. I am sick of crocodiles. P.P.S. and the tears of crocodiles. He's not making any money by performing with Lyle, if Lyle's always sad. Here they are. Not too many days after, the Prims were delighted to find Hector P. Valenti and Lyle at their door. Here, take him back, said Signor Valenti. He's no good. He will never make anyone laugh again. But Signor Valenti was very much mistaken. Everyone laughed and laughed and laughed. And in the end, so did Signor Valenti. Oh, they're so happy to be back together again. The Prim family and Lyle, together forever. That's the way they like it. So now if you should happen to be walking past the house on East 88th Street, and if you should happen to hear sounds that go swish, swash, splash, swoosh, don't be surprised. It's only Lyle. Lyle the crocodile. If you like this book, there are lots of books about Lyle by Bernard Weber. Okay, this has been kind of a long video. I have lots more ideas of things I want to talk to you about tomorrow, but I should wrap it up for today. Remember, keep doing things that have to do with the letter L. Read lots of good books. Make L with Play-Doh. Practice writing L with crayons, with markers, on the Wet Dry Try app. Play with light. I just loved the pictures of Henry learning about opaque and transparent and translucent. And I hope all of you do a little bit of that. You can play with a light in a dark place and try to see what it can shine through. Okay? I love you. Send me your pictures. Send me pictures of you singing the new Bible verse. I haven't seen anybody doing that one yet. So I want to see if you're learning it. Okay? I love you. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.